All right. Let's see what we can get done today. Is there a yellow circle around this? Better. All right. So I need to kind of warm up a little bit. I'm not expecting to get a ton done today. I'll probably go for the full 2 hours, but yeah. Really, I wish I could do more than 2 hours. In theory, I could, but eh. Been tired lately. End of the year for teaching. It's exhausting. So, um, not feeling super strong in terms of in terms of my line work. It's just hoping. Just gonna take some time to kind of warm up a bit. Hopefully it will start to feel a little better. And I'm beginning to kind of feel back.
Io sono senza te. Il bello del mare.
Her arms are not that long. Holy crap. Jeez. Alright, they're not that big. Her face doesn't look right, but hopefully I shouldn't have to draw her face today, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm a little off today. Well, whatever. We'll see how it goes. We have a hand to do, and then we have the worm to do. And maybe this as well. I doubt I'm gonna get down to here. I'm gonna try to finish the space tomorrow, though. Depends how I feel, I guess. Thankfully, this hand is gloved, so kind of use that to our advantage. Gloved hands are a little bit easier. Tempted to kind of rework this finger, but at the same time, maybe not. Maybe. All right, that was that one. Kind of want to go Kijun. Sure. Okay, so now the fun part. Figuring out the risks. That's kind of tangenting. Go with that. Actually, now the right way to do this. There's a right way to do this. Oh shoot, that's a kind of a match where it's gonna be. That should be right. Technically that's gonna be covered up, but it'll give us something to work with. that's... I think it's in the right spot. Oh boy. I have to fix this. Let's just go with that. Technically, that's all you can see. Okay. Go ahead and turn that off. I actually don't like the texture on that rope. Let's start with something a little bit easier. Okay. So now. This song always reminds me of like spooky season. Like I expect to be playing like a haunted house map in a platformer or something. I guess I should do the rope coming out of here. That's where I would come through. It's fed through. Coiled. I kind of want to... He's going to be flicking his wrist up, so the rope would actually be more... like that. Okay, so now we need to do the bag. Hmm. Yo, Bruno. Funny that you say everyone. It's actually been a rather quiet night tonight. Hope you've been well. Let's go with that. Okay, that panel's done. For the most part. And just give it a little. Finally catching on rest after a busy school year. Are you guys already out then? We've still got a little bit more time before schools around here are off for the summer, so I'm working for a couple more weeks. It'll be nice to wrap it up, that's for sure. Wrapping up your last subject. Ah, I see. And although I am in the private sector, so we don't got to make up snow days. So that's nice. Okay, this one is going to be tricky. But the first thing I want to do all right, now I need to figure out the water here. All right. Sure. Hold on. Let's try something else. This is going to be a tricky panel to get right. Just such an open space. I honestly can't wait for the summer though, because then I can actually start putting in full-time effort into these pages. I don't know, there's something exhausting about going and having to deal with kids for a number of hours and then coming home and it's just like, I just don't want to sit down and draw for 4 hours. I wish I wanted to. I really should, honestly. All things considered. Because I still have a lot of work ahead of me. But, man, once I get the line work done for this, oops. I don't think people understand how big of a deal it is going to be for me. Even just line work done means, like, I am past one of the hardest selections of pages in this whole book. There's only one other part that's going to be more challenging. In theory. By then, I'm going to have a lot more experience. Yeah, Toriyama. Toriyama's fun. It's fun work. It's always funny how like pudgy he always drew characters. Truth be told, what I really I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I really should do some Chrono Trigger art, like Frog or something like that. I think that'd be really fun. About the Godfather of manga? Oh, the grandfather of manga. So, the guy behind Astro Boy? I can never remember. I can never remember his name. Actually, I did learn some really interesting history that he was involved in regards to not manga but anime, and kind of a an aspect of anime that has set a precedent because it's been around so long, and so yeah, it's something that, like, going forward, it's very relevant, I'll say, to the modern age. Some of the issues the industry is facing, and perhaps even our industry is facing over here. Yeah, well, that was, I mean, it is very interesting how much Disney ultimately influenced in terms of Eastern art, Japanese, Chinese. I'm not super familiar with a lot of Korean artists, actually, funny enough, now that I think about it. But I believe the Philippines as well. It actually turns out the Philippines has a massive animation scene. It's one of the places that gets kind of outsourced. But I know a lot of Filipino animators, and they do some amazing stuff. And so it's quite prevalent over there, I guess, which is really interesting. Okay, so let's go ahead. Wanted to do an animated project with Walt Disney? Oh, I've not heard of that. That'd be interesting. Oh, I wonder what that would have been. Okay, these things, okay, there's the sand, so. Let's do that for now. Do that for now. Yes, it does. And China, I believe. Well, maybe not China. I don't know. But yes, Actually, here's the really crazy. Actually, you know, I think they do outsource to China, but here's the really crazy thing: Japan outsources to pretty much anyone who's going to work for them at this point. I know a lot of people in the States um, who have worked for anime studios and such. I forget the term that they use for them, but it basically means foreign worker. And yeah, they'll get like what's called Genga. They'll do like Genga. They'll do layouts and things like that for Japanese studios. It's really interesting. That was the last thing. So yeah, Japan has been outsourcing more and more and more and more and more because they've had to. Okay, I've been really confused about that. So to North Korea, like actually North Korea, like I don't know that there are several things just that don't compute with that. I've heard outsourcing to North Korea multiple times, and I'm like, okay, that's got to be a mistake, right? So are they like opening up to trade or something? Because like the last I knew, North Korea was like closed to the world, right? I mean, I don't fully understand the geopolitical nature of all that, but it's really crazy if that's the case. Honestly, yeah, Invincible. That's a. I know a lot of people are going crazy for it, but like, man, I don't know about that. I know some people who worked on it. I think I know of some people. I should say. I don't know if I actually know anyone who worked on it. I think it came out from Hack. I'm not sure. That just I don't know. That's because like South Korea I know has an animation, like it's outsourced to animation all the time, right? And North Korea does have an animation scene, believe it or not. That's where you get like Squirrel and Hedgehog. So like that's a thing, but I just don't. It has been bad. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not into overtly violent superheroes. Same thing with the boys. Just like whatever. But so I know that North Korea does have an animation scene, but like I don't know. I'd just be very surprised that it's like, oh yeah, we're just gonna work on this Western show, you know. But I don't know. Maybe they're desperate for money, you know. Who knows? I mean, yeah, I don't know. That just seems like one of those things where someone said, "Oh yeah, they're outsourcing to North Korea," and then everyone kind of runs with it, you know. So until I see like it's like, oh yeah, no, here's like the receipts, then I'm kind of skeptical. Not that I'm saying they aren't out there. I've never seen them, and I've not bothered to really look into it. Well, and see, that's already we've got a problem. Traditional superhero star. It's like, ah, yes, the thing I'm not into. I've just never really bothered with it, honestly. I mean, there's always that caveat, right? Like, I mean, friggin', I wouldn't put it past Amazon, ethically speaking, to be relying on that infrastructure. So, that's certainly not the point of contention that I have with that story. Who knows? I mean, like I said, maybe something has really changed with North Korea. I mean, things are kind of changing, it seems. Certain relations and stuff like that, being attempts to open up and whatnot. I just don't know where any of that stuff is. Like I said, maybe they're desperate for income into the nation. It's like, close yourself off. How long can you survive? Fiendish. Oh yeah, I think you showed that one a few times. Yeah, it's gonna get interesting here the next few years, I think, in terms of various industries and such. Honestly, I'm hoping to just kind of keep to the indie side for as long as possible. Let's see what I can make of that, if anything. Brad Marvel DC are still kicking. I mean, what else are you gonna do with them? You know, gotta try to make something of it, right? I think it's one of those things where it's easier to just kind of let the system keep pushing the money in different places than to try to wrap the whole thing up. Kind of reminds me of the movie Brazil, if you've ever seen that, where it's such a bureaucratic mess that they can't find anyone. So it all, like, that's kind of what the movie revolves around, is like just getting lost in the system. I feel like there was a joke in that movie, like I can't quite place it, but I feel like there was either a joke in that movie or maybe another one where, like, essentially someone had to find someone within like some bureaucratic system or something like that, and it turns out he had been dead for like months and no one knew because the whole thing was still like running. Licensing out IPs. I mean, they might start doing that, who knows? But I mean, like, the big thing, like, is the thing that's been like kind of suspending the comics, it seems, is the movies and such, and they're not really ready to give up on that. So they mostly pulled money out of the comics though to support that, it seems, or rather didn't put any money in. At least near as I can tell. I mean, that's definitely what, like, I remember seeing some talks with what's his face, Iger. Made it a special point to bring up the idea of, quote, mining IP, or is that how he put it, or was that that might have been the CEO, but actually I think that was the CEO behind Hasbro, but yeah, it's IP portfolio or something like that. Kept on bringing stuff like that up, and so, like, that's at the end of the day what's become the most important to them. Yeah, it was Hasbro, but they basically are all kind of saying the same thing. Well, it used to be in the hands of Dark Horse, and I guess some pretty good stuff came from them, so. Honestly, that, like, I'm of the opinion that, like, friggin' let it die. like, I don't need any kind of legacy media being continued, because, like, Star Wars or whatever, it's like, the story's been told, you know? Like, I'm not, at least for me, I'm not so infatuated by a world that, like, I'm that desperate for it to continue in, like, anything, pretty much. I mean, sure, like, if there's, like, a series or a story I like getting adapted, well, I would say I get excited, but, like, not anymore. There's some things I would love to be adapted and stuff like that, like sure. But in terms of the whole quote unquote extended universe, I freaking hate that term because it's so corporate now. But like in terms of all that, it's just like I don't care. Like, go make something, you know. Unless there is like a distinct, like, I mean, the good stuff has come from like extended stuff. It's like, okay, that's great and all, but like, I don't really care whether it happens or not, you know. That's all I'm saying. Who make up their own stuff? Yeah, well, they tried to make that not a thing. Well, it's the same thing with freaking Warhammer. It's like when they started going after fan creation and stuff like that, it's just like, screw you guys. This is what you are built on this, for goodness sakes. Like, really? You know? Fan animation, stuff like that. And it's because they can't compete with their own fans, right? Which is honestly pathetic, in my opinion. Like, because a friend of mine checked out the whatever goofy animated series the Warhammer, the Games Workshop put out and stuff like that, and it was written really poorly, from what I could tell, in terms of just like how the characters interact and whatnot. It sounded like it was written very typical of what you have. It's like, yeah, go figure, you know. It's like, yeah, no, honestly, I don't know what ultimately happened to him. So maybe you can kind of clue me in a little bit. I mean, did it ever like come out like what he was actually responsible for, or did they literally just buy him out to just kind of shelve him so that he wouldn't actually like, so that they could basically contract bind him, tie his hands? Because like that, I don't know, that feels like what it was about. And it's like, that guy was by far and away one of the most talented people you could have possibly had on a team. Like, my word, his sense of visual storytelling was like next level, and he was doing fan projects of your IP. Like legitimately, if it wasn't for Astartes, that short film series, basically, I would have zero interest in Warhammer 40k, because generally speaking, I don't like Warhammer 40k. But my word, the way that he rendered that universe, the way he told that story was so phenomenally well done, and so just precise in what it was meaning to do. It was like, okay, there's something here. They don't really use them. Yeah, go figure, because like they have way more employees than they know what to do with, probably. It's and everything has to pass through like 15 different people for anything, right? Because everything is so locked down tight nowadays. And I mean, that's the risky run when you get involved in those sorts of corporations and whatnot. It's like there's no room to breathe. There's nothing to. They don't really want you there to do anything, it seems. Near as I can figure, it's just like they're playing these weird games, and then like, you know, these creative people like try to get involved, and it's like, okay, like here, you know. I don't know. Honestly, I feel bad for that guy. I hope they pay him well at least. But man, like, seriously, like, freaking give him money. I honestly think they just wanted him to be a non-compete. Yeah, I remember there was like they changed the music, which was fair because it was apparently from like Dread or something like that. It's like okay, that's fair, but like they wouldn't put it in like high definition and whatnot. Oh yeah, no, it's I don't know. It's my suspicion is always that it's like they're dumb to us, but they're actually kind of just more sinister in the end. Like they actually do know what they're doing, and it's them playing their corporate games more than anything, you know. And it's like the same as like canceling a movie to get the tax write off, right? Use a giant asset to their IP, yeah. It's like I don't know. It's just weird. It's such a weird system. I don't want to have anything to do with it, honestly. But I'm way more interested in the indie scene because, like, at this point, you don't really need that corporate sort of level. Like, I mean, okay, animation's expensive, right? Like, animation can be really expensive, but you can make enough to make a series or something like that independently. I mean, even like not even like in a modern sense. I mean, for goodness sakes, like HomestarRunner.com. I mean, yeah, it's not like friggin' Demon Slayer, right? Like, it doesn't look like crazy, right? Although Demon Slayer is much cheaper than people realize, and not in a good way. But it did its thing, and it was successful to a relatively small kind of niche. But like, that's kind of where you want to be with something like that. It gave the people who wanted to see it exactly what they wanted, right? It's great. And so, like, I don't know. I just don't think there's really any point at this point to sell to a corporation. I mean, it's such a risk. It's such a liability to your art and therefore your, like, what you can actually have to show, right? Like, I mean, there are so many like situations of like series getting canned because of management changes and stuff like that. It's like that, and that's completely out of your control, you know. And then on top of that, add to the fact that it's like, okay, you want to make one of those big budget kind of series. It's like, all right, you're outsourcing to a country that's not going to be paying people very well, you know. It's like, man, like, very good chance, unfortunately. It's like, man, I don't know. And we got the, yeah, well, that's what happens when you chase celebrities and IP, I guess. It's like, yeah, no thanks. I don't want any of that. Or worse yet, that absolutely horrific reboot of Good Times. Oh my. I don't even, my gosh. That, I'm sorry I brought that up, honestly. You missed 2D animation? Well, truth be told, we're getting a lot of 2D animation. You have independent projects coming along that are doing it. You have, actually, I want to check out more to see if there's more stuff coming out of France, because they have animated stuff, and be curious to see what they get up to. They do 2D animation. There's actually quite a bit of 2D animation out and about. You just gotta kind of gotta go and find it, you know. Okay. That's basically done. Let me go ahead. I mean, Lackadaisy is doing its thing. It's successfully crowdfunded. Apparently, there's a trailer out for it, though, by a short that's coming out, which is really cool. From the US. Oh, we're talking big budget. That's a good question, actually. Because the immediate thought is Princess and the Frog, right? 2011. Klaus wasn't American. That was a Spanish studio. Princess and the Frog was the last Disney. Yeah. I can say that. I'm trying to think. I want to say there was something else, though. Why do I want to say there's something else? Love that movie. Never seen it, actually. I don't know. Doesn't seem like my thing. I'm sure it's fine. A lot of people love it. Keith David. I know that name. Okay. Well, while I'm here, I might as well do... I think I'll do this one. Or I could do this one. It's going to be easier, but... time is it? I'll do this. Okay. I need the front of the ship. Time is it something? Import 3D data. Let me take a short break because I want to think about big budget 2D animated movies from America. I'm trying to think if there's anything from like Netflix even. Like film, like actual like theatrical films. I feel like there was something. But I can't, I mean, let me look it up, I guess. Okay. No, well, hold on. This is... Voice of Sponge, John Carpenter. Okay, okay, yes, I do know the name. here we are. List of American theatrical animated feature films from 2000 to 2019. And the Sorceress. I don't know that one. X. Road Eldorado, Dinosaur, Titan AE, Chicken Run. This is everything, so, Monkey. Oh, let's go down. Okay, we're still in 2001. Okay, so last thing I said was Princess and the Frog. Yeah, it was 2009. My mistake. I always forget how old that film is. Stop motion, computer animation, traditional animation. Secret of Kills, I wouldn't count. That's Irish. Oh, that's a very good one. I do recommend that one. Computer animation, traditional animation. My Dog Tulip. That's more of an experimental film. Or a biographical, perhaps. Saw it in theaters not too long ago. Oh, yeah, that's true. But that's more for television. If we're talking like theatrical, then that's a different thing. Idiots and Angels. Again, that's more experimental. Traditional animation, The Dreams of Jinsha. Whoa, this is Chinese. Summer Wars, that's Japanese. The Illusionist, I believe, is French. Jean-Claude Donda, yeah, like that's French. Although it was distributed by Warner Brothers, but that I don't think that counts. Otherwise, Song of the Sea would count, and that's definitely an Irish film. I'm talking if we're talking like in within like in American studios and that sort of thing, making the film. This is French. Winnie the Pooh, 2011. Well, you know, let's work our way backwards. Actually, otherwise, Frozen 2, White Snake, Arctic Dogs. Yeah, everything's gone over to like anime and computer animation. That's a lot of what I'm seeing in the back. Cold Hammarskjöld, which I'm guessing is or Cold Case Hammarskjöld. That's Danish. Well, actually, it's a lot of things. Scandinavian. That's Scandinavian. What is this? Simo, Spain and France. Phenon, G-Kids. G-Kids always comes up quite a bit. Phenon is French. Wow. Ruben Brunt collection. Again, Hungarian. I thought it was French for a second. No, that's Hungarian. That's interesting. Mary Poppins Returns. Oh, hey, these are. This is telling the studios that work on this. Walt Disney. This is live action mix though, like the original. Apparently, a Mary Poppins movie came out in 2018. Well, I think that there's something to be said about just the hands-on nature of traditional of 2D animation, which you can replicate even digitally. It's what I try to do to the best of my ability. Anime. This was a French one, MFKZ. That's a weird movie. Computer animation anime, computer animation anime. Isle of Dogs was stop motion. That one was pretty fun. Big Bad Fox and Other Tales. I think that's French. Have a Nice Day. I think that's Yon, the Joy. Chinese. Okay, thought so. Marion the Witch's Flower, of course, was something else. Space Jam. Bird Boy, The Forgotten Children. Studio 4 degrees Celsius, which... Oh yeah, I wanted... This is a Spanish film. This one looked weird. I'm not entirely sure what it consists of. I was gonna look into that one. I might... I'll keep that off to the side, because I'll check that out. The Breadwinner, which is... technically well, I'm not sure what you consider that one. Canada, Ireland, and Luxembourg, because it was Cartoon Saloon, but there's a lot of other. I would call it Irish just because it's Cartoon Saloon, but like Canada and Luxembourg. No, it's actually really easy. It's literally just an overlay in the cheaper ends, but like there's lots of ways to like give a traditional kind of look. Silent voice, that's Japanese. My Little Pony the movie, 2017. Apparently that was traditional animation. The Girl Without Hands. That's interesting. The Red Turtle, Studio Ghibli. So why don't they do that? Studios are. People are. That's what we did in Lackadaisy, give it the texture that it had. And we even did it in a way that made it so that it only changed the cell when the frame changed. Because that's how it would work, right? The texture of the celluloid would only change if the cell changed, right? The frame, like, you're on change. So there's ways of doing that, and it was really easy to do. One of the problems is that a lot of times in the sort of larger budget films and stuff like that, there's this consensus, at least in terms of like higher ups and stuff like that, where it's like you got to go for like perfection, quote unquote, whatever that means. And that's kind of what was appealing about digital and 3D and stuff like that, is that you just kind of, you can throw money at it, you can throw people at it, and you'll get a more polished result, kind of. And it, for whatever reason, it seems like there was this interest in kind of scrubbing the human fingerprint from the element, right? And same thing happens over in Japan. Like, as much as people like kind of praise them for keeping the traditional things alive, the main reason they do that is because it would be way too much money to replace it all digitally. The infrastructure is just kind of locked in paper animation. That's what everyone knows, and that's what everyone has. But they go out of their way to like make everything kind of overly polished, in my opinion, a lot of the time. Not all the time. There is a studio. I can't remember the name. It's a background studio. They still do it traditionally, and their backgrounds look phenomenal. They did the backgrounds for Dororo, and it's phenomenal. It's great stuff. So there definitely is that sense of artistry over there still, but like, I don't know. A lot of it just seems like a lot of people just seem to, or a lot of studios rather, just seem to kind of go for overly polished. Although it's starting to, like, people are starting to realize, yeah, that texture is nice with gloss color. Yeah, no, definitely. It's because they do the cleanup and they do the coloring digitally in a lot of studios, and so it gives it that overly clean look. Boy and the World. Brazil. A Brazil film. Never heard of this one. Both from very limited dialogue, the Jewish speaking is Portuguese spoken backwards. Oh. Kind of sounds like an interesting film. But yeah, in terms of like large budget, I mean, we're down to 2015 now. Hey, I appreciate it, Frumfuse. We're taking a little bit of a break here right now, just to, you know, because why not doing nothing? We're looking to see if we can find the last like big budget American animated, a 2D animated film. And near as I can tell, like, the only one I'm really... Oh, The Prophet. That was Cartoon Saloon? No, that wasn't. That was... Well, the United States had a hand in that one. Oh, Liam Neeson was in it. Interesting. I remember seeing that one come. I think that maybe he just brought it up, but Tom Moore, the guy behind some of my favorite films, Song of Sea and such, mentioned it. I thought he worked on it, maybe not. I don't know. It's looking like that, Billy. Like, as far as like distinctly American animated films, like majority work, or like really came from like an American studio and American actor and stuff like that. Like, I'm comfortably calling it an American film, because Warner Brothers hasn't done anything since like early 2000s. I mean, they did do Space Jam 2, but that was mixed. That was mixed medium, I think, mostly. So I don't really count that. Yeah, overly clean, nice, and it's why if you notice, I can show you guys. Let me move this over here. On the left here, if you look at my brush here, shoot. Not here, but well, actually, so well, okay, hold on, I'll show you. So you'll notice when I draw that it's either black and white, right? The reason I do that is because, technically speaking, if I were to turn it on to color and then draw it, you'll notice you have this aliasing, right, or anti-aliasing, right? We all know what anti-aliasing is because we play video games and stuff like that, where it's like he takes those jagged pixels and smooths it out, right? Which is great for games, right? Because it does give a clearer picture. But for art, I don't like it for art because it gives it that too clean kind of look, right? And that's kind of the problem with gradients as well. And you know, I know that's kind of funny coming from me, the guy who uses gradients all the time for color, but you do have to be careful with it because you can very easily give it that's how you get that glossy sheen, because it's perfect, right? It's like a plastic ball. And so my kind of counteraction to that is cell shading and careful color choice, and then like specific uses of like it's just for the light, right? For like the overall light of a scene. It's not actually meant to describe texture. So kind of interesting. You can kind of play with that. Anyway, back to this. And I can rotate this film. All right. But yeah, it looks like, near as I can really tell, it's the only one I'm really comfortable with calling distinctly an American animated film. Like I said, you have things like Klaus, and there's plenty of American animators who worked on that. But like I said, that was a primarily Spanish production. I'm more comfortable calling it a Spanish production because of Studio Spa, which is over in Spain. Okay, so there we go. There's that. Put that down. Sometimes shows, yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of the way the industry went, and unfortunately, it kind of shows the mentality, I think, of a lot of our kind of corporations over here. Is just like, well, why bother, you know? Those films don't make as much money, and I mean, that's the truth about it. I mean, you want to know why these studios are moved away. It's because hand over fist, 3D animated films made way more money for them. I mean, truth be told, that's actually kind of what broke the Disney curse, because like, the fact of the matter is that like, Disney was always struggling. You go back and you look at their history and like what Walt was competing with and competing against, it was the bank, man. Like, the guy could not keep books balanced. I mean, he could, but like, it was a struggle. I mean, eventually he had to go public. He had to get outside investors to keep the thing afloat. We all know how that turned out. Okay, I think that's the right shape of the ship. I mean, I guess I can maybe do this. Almost went bankrupt in the mid-2000s. I actually didn't know that. What would have caused them to go bankrupt in the mid-2000s? Because, like, I'm pretty sure they had bought Pixar by that time. And, like, they were right on the verge of going into, like, the MCU and whatnot. Just kicking that off. So that's kind of history. Maybe I've heard something about that, but I don't remember. That'd be treading some ground I'm not remembering then. I guess it would be possible. Because you had the Renaissance, right? You had the Disney Renaissance, right? So you had the Disney Renaissance in the 90s, and then you had Pixar come along with Toy Story, which blew the doors off of everything that they were doing. And she just want to say that, yeah, I do kind of remember that. Yeah, I guess I never... Yeah. Yeah, that is kind of something that goes a little bit unspoken. Paramount was producing the earlier MC movie? Really? But I actually am not terribly familiar with that history, I guess. Yeah, boy, yeah, that's right. Man, that's crazy. Wow. Boy, I thought it was further back that that was the last time that they were really struggling. AKA the 80s. The 80s I know was like when it was like do or die. Is one of the time. Well, you had a do or die situation in the 80s with Little Mermaid. After significant struggles. And then you had before that, Cinderella actually saved them. If Cinderella hadn't done well, that would have been it for the studio. They came real close with that one. But they were always subsidizing with their parks. That's what really like gave them any kind of semblance of longevity. Boy, this is gonna be interesting. I mean, that still kind of is the way it is. Well, kind of. Yeah, no, after they got the movies going, though. Also, then they lose a lot of money on Treasure Planet. I think they did and they didn't, if I remember. Because they basically sent it out to die. So I can't imagine it was so much that, like... Because by then, they were focusing on something else, I want to say. I mean, they definitely lost money on that one. But they didn't really advertise the... Well, they did, but, like... It basically was kind of like a lost cause. They just kind of looked at it as a lost cause. Yeah. Well, because, yeah, they had Atlantis. They had Emperor's New Groove. I think Emperor's New Groove did well. Then they had, like, they did a bunch of series as well on Disney, on the Disney Channel. Yeah. Atlantis was a Disney movie, yeah. It had some of its designs and such done by Manola. My opinions on Atlantis, because like everyone's like, oh man, yeah, it's such a good movie, and like my thought is like, I feel like it would be a good movie if it wasn't a Disney movie. Like if it was honestly just like an anime, like a really cool animated adventure film that didn't feel like a Disney film, and kind of played it a little bit more straight. I don't know how well it would have done, but like, especially for that time, I mean, it would do great now, I think. If it was a relatively small budget, it was an animated, like, darker, but not like dark, but like more like serious adventure film. Like something like that. I mean, like, that would do numbers. I'm almost certain that would do numbers. If it was advertised right, I think people would like be really into that now. I don't know much that does that though. I mean, even Japanese studios. You can point to some of Ghibli stuff for doing that. Like Nausicaa, you might be able to kind of put in that category. Princess Mononoke, maybe, kind of. What are you? Oh, oh. But like, I'm not terribly familiar with a whole lot that does that sort of thing. Like, honestly, like, the closest thing I can is, like, Nim. Nim kind of did that. Yeah, is that the Golden Age arc movies you're talking about? Yeah, there's those. What else? How that would I guess you could call it. Yeah, that would be adventure. That would be adventure. You don't really think of Berserk as adventure because you don't want to go on it. It's like there's nothing appealing about this adventure. There was a Dead Space animated movie. It sucked. What do I want to listen to now? Yeah, no, Nim is very good. I should get that one. Nim is Bluth's best work, honestly. Which is a little funny, because, like, he did so much more. But truth be told, a lot of Bluth's work is he's a very good animator. He's a very good animator. And I would even say he's a good storyteller. It just he didn't have very many good stories to tell. That's how I would put it, in my opinion. Good Space Dead Space animated movie. I don't know how you would do that. I guess you could. I never got into Dead Space really. Maybe a bad question. Yes, that would be a bad question. You could get some really messed up answers with that. There would just be a ride called Eclipse. Everyone coming off of it just looks pale and like they don't want to they don't want to be there anymore. Eclipse Luke. Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know if you're blasting Forces by Susumu Hirasawa in any ride, then I don't know, it'd be pretty awesome. I just don't think Berserk is theme park material. I'm gonna be honest. Oh wait, I need this. Reminds me of that one Far Side. If you guys haven't read Far Side, like, what are you doing? Where it's the unfun house or the not fun house or something like that. All the kids coming out of it are just like crying. A tunnel of sacrifice. Oh my word. Yo, what's up, Knights? Like a good horror house? Yeah, yeah. It would. Oh my word. You get one of those like what are the lollipop spinners or whatever, it's just void. um I wouldn't personally recommend They're Guilty, but I know there's a lot of people who would, so I think it depends on, I guess, if it's your thing. Let me do the hand first. I need to think this through. Hold on. And his fingers would be still extended, so this is the gloved hand. Yeah, honestly, like I personally have no interest in reading it. I know the story. I've seen the anime, the 97 anime, the only one worth watching. And I've seen a chronology of it, so I know the story more or less. But it's too much, honestly, for me. What I seen and know of it. As another friend of mine would put it, who really likes. He's like, it's not for everyone. That's for sure. That's, man. This is a terrible hand. Hold on. Okay. I actually need to. Well, I need to think. So. So would he actually be like? Let me just choose some things. Does it? So it wouldn't be quite that. Like. It would be like that, and the thumb would be here. Friggin' Mickey Mouse hand looking. Okay, let's see if we can do this better. Now I'm just remembering the review of the guy. I saw this review where it was like before and after reading Berserk or whatever, and it's like he's like, okay, I just picked up Berserk Volume 1, I'm gonna start reading it and stuff like that. Or he'd already read, he's like, oh man, you know, this is awesome, this is an awesome story, like it's so cool and everything like that. And it skips for it's like Volume 12, and it's just him, he's just like, I had to put it down. Like legit, the guy was like upset. He was just like beside him. Like he literally just chucks the it got to him that bad. It's like, hey man, I'll give credit to Mira for that. Like to get a person to react to a story like that, man. Or got to Volume 13. Yeah, it's just like literally the way he put it. He's just like, I had to put it. I couldn't keep reading. It's crazy, man. Oh, yeah, oh my gosh, that whole situation. Man, Guts, he should have just gotten Casca and lived with the blacksmith, man. He should have just gone home. He had to go save that sociopath. No, forget that, psychopath. That guy was psycho. That guy That guy was manipulative. Griffith was not a good person from the start. Yeah, I can imagine. Love that music. This is Macro Blank. This is one of my favorite collections of his. I wish I knew what song this was specifically, because he just does kind of remixes and such. Oh, he has it here. 1 second. This is song 3. Let's see what the original song was. He has it in a paste bin here. See if it'll load. Three, Mr. Mood's Beautiful Disaster. The one before it was Bonobox La Plane. So, yeah, cool. But yeah, I really do like his stuff for just chill music to listen to on stream. And for the most part, it doesn't get flagged on YouTube, which is nice. I will say, man, having to always fit a hand with 5 fingers is kind of interesting, because like it makes his hands really wide. I think that's why I like inherently made everything on his ship kind of wide in terms of space, because like, I mean, he's big and long, and I am kind of long. Rather, I'm tall with long arms, so I like open space. I don't like smacking into things. It kind of makes sense. Oh, nice. I'll probably be working on this or another thing I can be working on. Actually, I might be working on the other thing since it'll be Saturday, and I usually don't feel like doing comic work on Saturday. This is going to be cut off, but I'm going to put it there. For the sake of just having it. This is... that actually is right within the safety margins. It's not the safety margins, but it is the safety margins. Make umbrella draw the rest of that focus. Jeez. Smoking French cat. Jeez. Smoking French cat. At some point, I do need to paint Darth Kitty versus the Mouse Jedi. Okay, so now... good enough. Yeah. Yeah, I'll need to do that. That does sound like a lot of fun. And I've been hankering to get back to painting a bit, so that would be really fun. Why did I have to give him this stupid gauntlet? Why did I have to give him a real? Why couldn't he have just been a regular friggin' fisherman? With a harpoon that has a rope and he just pulls on the rope. I need to add chainmail to his outfit. He doesn't need chainmail. He doesn't get stabbed. And besides, like, he's hard to stab. I'm pretty sure, because he's clay, you know? So... He's not easy to kill. You're gonna find that out. But he doesn't get stabbed. I mean, he did get slashed, but that didn't really like do anything to him. I'm trying to think if anyone else in this series would have chainmail. I don't think so. That's not really... That's kind of a technology? It isn't it? That's something they really rely on. To make it more tedious to draw. That's... Chainmail's not that bad, honestly. Like... If you just kind of shape it, right? Like, you can kind of get away with being fairly vague about it. So this would be like the Gamberson underneath. This would be a diamond pattern. And you would just kind of, key would be to just be really nondescript about it. And this is pretty sloppy. Probably have like a few rings off to the side. That. It's just a wrinkly shirt, honestly. After a while, yeah, you get something. Especially from a distance, which is what I'm going for. It's all the same, like, pattern, you know? It's not like... You have that kind of... That could be better, but that's the idea at least. And if I were to finish it, I'd do the lower levels. And I would actually kind of darken this side more. That kind of has a chainmail texture to it, but yeah. Looks better than that stuff. That. Anyway, yeah, there's some chainmail for you. Chainmail's not too bad. Okay. Of course, we have the rope. We're actually going to start this side. Go in front of it. Okay, now Did I see the new D&D player handbook cover? Why in the world would I bother? Is it AI generated? I bet you anything is AI generated. Oh shoot. Oh great. What? Really? Why do you hurt me? Why? Why do you make me suffer? What did I do wrong? What did I do to you? I don't know, he hasn't sent it yet, and I'm scared. Oh, great. You know, last stream was nice. You know why? Because we didn't have to look at terrible art all that much. We looked at some art that, you know, kind of struggled to do a thing or two, but, like, it wasn't terrible. I like that. That was actually more fun. You can actually learn a thing or two from it. Gonna have some good art as well. I'll be the judge of that. Okay. There we go. Turn these up as well. So that's this page so far. This will be a little bit more clear. I don't know if I wanted going up that high. I might lower that. Okay. We gotta do the little detail. I'm gonna put a dent in his hat and rust patches like that. And how about a stain on the poncho? There we go. Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with this. The glove's a little funny here, but I mean, he has 6 fingers. It's gonna look weird. He has 6 fingers. Make sure that's here. Technically, I could do some patching areas. Might be awesome. Oh, great. Well, sure, why not? Okay, that's most of this page done. We just have, I don't feel like doing the harpoon right now because the harpoon is going to be kind of annoying. But we just have this panel, and this panel to do after the harpoon. So we're actually almost done with this page. So I might get this done tomorrow, hopefully. I'm hoping, and then we'll be on to this page. And this page is cool. I actually do kind of like this page. So looking forward to doing this one. And this page will be fun. I get to actually draw her mask next page, so that'll be fun. So we'll see. This one is going to be tricky because I'm going to have to do the whole ship, so that'll be fun. This one will be tricky for obvious reasons. And the whole ship. And this one will be kind of crazy, but yeah. Anyway, this page, I'm still not crazy about, but I think it'll work, and yeah. Anyway, I'll be back on Thursday. Thursday's gonna be the day. Thursday's the day that I come back. Hopefully on page 3, or I guess page 15 in this case, but if not, then finishing up this for sure. Yeah, eventually I want to do longer streams, but not for another few weeks. Heads up, my website more than likely will be going down next month, so if you want to read The Blind King, now's the time to do it. Forever hold your peace. It'll be back up at some point, but I'm not too worried about that because like not everyone's like chomping at the bit, and it's not like I'm about to release the next chapter or anything like that. So, but if you do want to read it through it, or you want to hand it out to people, then now's the time to do it before the site goes down. It might be a bit before I get transitioned over to a more permanent site, but we'll see. Hopefully I'll have something up and running that I can host soon enough, but otherwise, that'll be it. I'll catch you all later. Have a good one. Looking forward to streaming on Saturday as well, so that'll be fun. See ya. Goodbye.